No, but I mean, now that, what does it really say? Because yes, that principle that the courts can formulate to be determined by Supreme Court on the one hand, but at the moment there are those who think that the way it stands is that it looks as though the law and possibly some court judgments say, yes, you have a freedom of association, you can leave one party to the other, but it hasn't been properly determined as to whether or not you can leave that party to the other and still hold on to your positions. There are two different things.
Yes, yes. You can leave. The law allows you to leave. The Constitution allows you to leave. That's the fundamental human rights provision. Freedom of association. You can decide to join Talakawa party. You can decide to join people who believe simply on ethnic basis for associating that, look, I am an Odua person, you understand, I'm an Arewa person, I'm an Indigbo person. You know, the law cannot stop you from doing that. But where there is a flux is when you do that after you have secured the mandate on a particular platform. Can you retain that mandate as an individual? That is what
was given to you by the people.
But now, so that is what is up for interpretation.
You think that is, some people might argue that is strictly, for lawyers to determine, because if you look at how we vote in Nigeria, a host of people will say we don't vote for the party, that we vote for personality.
Well, maybe those that are totally apolitical, depoliticized. Maybe you and I we don't belong to. I don't belong to any party. I don't know about you, but you see, when you talk to people who feed fat on politics, at whatever level, world level, they will tell you that people vote on the basis of parties. For you, I will not. Well, I have not voted since 1993. That's the truth of the matter. So ordinarily, I shouldn't have too much say about the kind of people that now occupy offices. But as a Nigerian, I'm entitled to vote. So it depends on whatever perspective you are looking at it from. From my perspective, yes, it is we the people who should determine. But from the perspective of active party men, oh no, people vote along party line, and I suppose it's not to be decided by Nigerians or by lawyers. It really, interpretation of the law is basically the exclusive preserve of the courts.
Yeah, what I mean is, that is definitely something for lawyers to break their head over, in the sense that, when people go to the polls to vote, what you actually put your thumbprint against is the party logo, not the individual. But if you look at also voting patterns, for instance, in the 2011 elections, when they will tell you that Lagos voted en masse for the governor of Lagos State, but also voted en masse for the president, and not based on any party basis. How do you also interpret things like that?
Why the voting pattern was like that is not something that any court of law can competently interpret. But what I know is that what happened was more of a political arrangement. You see, I always say it, when election is coming, it is about them and them, not about, it's about them as opposed to us. When politicians take their decisions, all this problem about defection and all that, some people holding back, I will give my decision in January, February, they are all based on permutations. You will be surprised that by March or April, there will be another migration from one party to the other, simply because people want to be sure of whatever platform will secure their interest best. So when I don't know what happened why Lagosians voted for the president as they did, and they didn't vote for the party that won in Lagos on the presidential level. I don't know. But really, I think the people who actually participate in voting in elections, they are predominantly people who belong to one party or the other.
But if you also, many people might not agree with you on that, but if you also look at, if you talk about that, what do you say happened in Ondo State, where, it was seen that the governor was sure of his own popularity and said, look, I'm ditching my party, I'm joining another party, and I'm running on that platform. And he won, so can we discountenance the personality of a candidate in an election?
Especially at state, world, local government level. I don't think you can totally, discountenance the importance of the individual personality. I don't think so. I think, I mean, Mimiko, for instance, I mean, put his goodwill to good use and say, look, I'm sure of myself. But you have to also appreciate the fact that the electorate in Ondo is not your run-of-the-mill kind of electorate. You see, it's an electorate that has a mind of its own, without meaning to derogate from the electorate in other states of the federation. They have not, for instance, you hear in Oyo State that no person has ever secured a second time a re-election. Why would you? I mean, despite the fact that oh yes, I'm this, I'm that. So it's no matter who you are in Oyo State, you are just not likely to win. And they say that boils down to the fact that that's the attitude of the average Oyo man. You know, that though, I mean, you cannot lord it over us forever. You can't tell us that whether we like it or not, I'll be there. So you look at the electorate from different perspectives. There are certain states where it's just the voice of one man who is not even contesting. This is where you go, and people will follow.
You know, in the midst of all of this, so while all this happened, but you still have people who say our votes don't count.
Oh well, I think I don't know. Should I? I don't know what to say.
Perhaps we should ask you why you haven't voted, because you just made a complaint.
Because I have never thought my votes will count.
Even though you see all these maneuverings and calculations, the way they pan out.
You know, you see, it's sad that it is those of us who are supposed to actually, I mean, be at the forefront, sensitizing people, that we just sit back, I mean, resigning our fate, I mean, in the hands of those who have no business being in government. It is so sad, but that is how bad the situation has gotten, that we all look and say, well, will my vote really count?
The real question is, how do you know that your vote is counted? I mean, is it because the party you voted for won, or you think that is where naturally a host of people should go? Because at the end of the day, in a democracy, it's about numbers. If you vote for a particular candidate and a lot of people did not go that particular way, your candidate might not win.
Oh, I mean, that's what democracy is all about. So I look at it and I say, look, I don't feel that I look at somebody and I say, look, I don't think this person is good enough. There are a lot of things that come into play, maybe because of education and also things. You just say this person is not fit for this purpose, but you see that all around you, people people you can talk to are saying, no, this is the person who vote for, simply because they've gotten something, simply because they feel that somebody who is very close to me. I said it before. I mean, in 1999, or was it 2003? Because my sister was supporting somebody, my own sister, somebody very dear to me. So she says, this person should win, and we are contributing, to the election funds. And she insisted I must pay. So I paid. I contributed to the fund. And the other person, the person I felt was good enough, I also contributed to the campaign fund. Now, the person that my sister was supporting won. Because the deputy governorship candidate then, it was her classmate. That was why she was supporting. And then, at the end of it all, after they got into power, she just stopped talking to my sister. And she felt bad. So that was why she wanted to vote that particular candidate in.
Such is life.
Too sad.
Thank you for coming on, John Oloyede, a legal practitioner. Well,